Hey there, guys. It's Kage DQT coming at you, and today we're going to be talking about the fun guild drama that's been going on regarding GVG and what could be done with it. Now, normally I'd show you a bunch of screenshots, stuff on Facebook. Well, some of it's gone, and a bunch of other stuff, but realistically, none of that fucking matters here, to be honest. Because here's the thing about all this. Nocturnal Conquest is being accused of giving layouts and cheating, and this kind of stems back to a couple of months ago. They don't seem like the type to do that. They really don't. But here's the caveat. Anybody could do it. Anybody could take their match, take a bunch of screenshots of the formation, and send it off to somebody else who's fighting that team. We've done it. I've done it for my sub guild, and my sub guild's done it for me, and vice versa, to help out with matches from time to time. Other guilds, I'm sure, have done it. The Aces guild, where some of this originated in one of the discords, they're actively doing it. I mean, come on, guilds talk. You know, maybe they want to sabotage another team, or maybe they want their guild to have a better chance of winning because they're part of their community. All in all, GVG's a pretty broken system in a lot of ways. And I've said this before, we should have had multiple layouts. We should have had other things that can be done, maybe like a qualifier layout and an actual tournament layout in case you do fight a team, or maybe even break it up into 3 defenses that you can choose for each stage, like a qualifier part 1, a qualifier part 2, and the actual tournament having layouts set up. It's still, you can still cheat the system in that regards if you still, you fight them twice with the same layout, or you're in the same bracket as one guild, and you've got, one sub guild there with you. You'd be able to tell what their setup is. But, here's the thing about all this. Starfall doesn't need all that. AW puts a lot of work in. I can't see them really cheating. But then again, they're the same people who lie about people quitting the game and hide other stuff. So it's like, you never know. People get competitive. Shit happens. I've played a lot of games where people will do just about anything to get ahead and to win. Atlas, personally, I can't see him doing that, though. I mean, if anybody was to blame, I wouldn't blame him. I really wouldn't. Atlas seems like a stand-up guy, puts in a lot of effort. He likes the fights. He likes the competition. But not everybody thinks that way. And not everybody's going to tell you that either. So I've had people come to me and send me layouts of other guilds for helping us with fights. I'm not going to name any names. It's happened before. It's been happening for months. We don't really have as much need for it because of the reset guilds and stuff. But I don't know. I think this all kind of came to a head with the changing of the matchmaking system, which we'll do another video on that at some point. But essentially, what happened here is Nocturnal Conquest got lumped in with Aces bullshit that's going on right now, because Aces and Vash are, they're looking to get layouts. He says, he's never done this before, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. When you're in multiple guilds and stuff, it's just, like, where do your loyalties lie? I mean, like, one minute he's AW, next minute he's in Aces 1. Like, don't know. But very easy to take some screenshots and pass them around. Not really hard. So that's an issue in itself. But where Nocturnal Conquest got lumped into all of this is because of what was seen, and Starfall saw this. They got this evidence that, people were asking for their layouts of their members. That, oh, wait a second, 2 months ago, AW did really well against us, and they weren't sure why. And it's like, well, wait a second. People are doing these layouts, and they're getting all this information. Well, what if that's what happened 2 months ago? Could that have happened? Absolutely. Do I think it happened? Probably not. Probably not, or if it did, it was a minimal extent. Nocturnal Conquest is a guild is like Switzerland. They're very neutral. They're very down to earth people. You never have any problems with them. They don't seem like the type to go out of their way to do anything to anybody. So, I mean, any Starfall members who are watching this, I wouldn't blame the guild as a whole. You'd be looking at maybe a couple of bad actors overall, and they would mostly be keeping it to themselves and their allegiances to whatever guild, because some people are all over the place in terms of what guilds they're with. AW, Aces, whatever other variation, who the hell knows. But the system as a whole has flaws in it, and I mean, I get why some people are upset. I mean, this is the only PvP you guys really care about for the most part. The only one you really put effort into, and you don't want it messed with. You want it to be as pure as possible. You want to know you won, and I get it. At the same time frame, though, people are going to do whatever they can to get a leg up to try and win if they have a chance to. I mean, again, I've done it for my sub guilds. I'd help them out anyway. If we got some layouts and they're fighting a guild, we'd pass them along. We'd absolutely give them the information. Just send it over to them and help them out. Try and get them to win. Why wouldn't I? They're part of my community. They're part of my group. So, and I'm sure Aces would do the same thing. Their guilds, I'm sure BDS with their sub guilds would do the same thing to some extent. I'm sure anybody would go out on a limb for their groups to help them out to get them to win. Maybe they don't. Maybe they'll correct me and say, no, we don't do that. I'd have a tough time believing you, to be honest, unless you really don't give a fuck on what happens with the other guilds. At which point, then I'm like, okay, sure, that makes more sense. You don't care if they win or lose, and fuck them, good luck. But that's kind of a weird relationship to be in with a guild like that. But so yeah, I don't think Nocturnal Conquest as a whole would do anything to Starfall to jeopardize their matches with AW. I don't think a majority of AW would want to cheat to win. I could see a couple of them potentially doing it because, here's the thing about that guild. That guild's based off of report cards and scores and other things, and they need to get good scores to kind of stay in the guild. So when you put that type of pressure on people, anything's possible. I mean, hell, you've got a man named Aces who had to leave that guild to keep playing the game, and now he's in Nocturnal Conquest. There's a lot of pressure there, and no amount of mental gymnastics or bullshit can change that view that people have. I mean, you guys hide when people quit the game because you don't want people to know that you're bleeding members. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, with that being said, I don't think any of this is going to change. If people want to keep cheating, they're going to keep cheating in this. There's not a lot you can do. And the only thing you really can do is appeal to aiming to get them to try and change the format a bit, to do something to protect yourselves in that regard. Because, again, there's not a lot here that can be done. You can't stop an individual going and telling his buddy in another guild, hey, here's what this layout is. It's just not going to happen. And realistically, you should just assume that everybody's doing something on the side. That's just my Jersey coming out East Coast. Everybody is running something. Fair play is kind of dead unless there's absolutely no way to cheat. It's kind of like real-time arena. Most of those people auto-click. That's cheating. That's bullshit. I don't like it. But that's what the majority of them do. And it's been kind of proven by the matches and the amount people play. It's like, yeah, it's not realistic. But if you want a fair fight with people, it's going to take a lot of systems in place to get that. Or some sort of agreement or understanding. I don't know. But just going forward, don't assume that people are going to be playing the same way you do. That's probably the key takeaway here. Don't assume that because you're super competitive and honorable that the person you're fighting is also going to be super competitive and honorable. It's kind of a silly thing to impose your guild philosophy on another guild. Anyway, that being said, I want to thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time. Take care.